and I'm going to break into a drop of an educational piece as it's coming up to 12 o'clock. The market is still moving around, so we sort of like set precedents that we should follow up on our trades in the market first to help our community, and then move on to the education. I'm going to touch on it for about a couple minutes right now, and then we'll continue to get back to the market action. So the topic that I wanted to talk about very quickly is the area that I've been looking at, and they've been at. You have an echo? Okay.
I'm off.
Guys, shut off your mics.
Oh.
Mike, how about now? Could be a problem. Stand by. Now, Mike? Okay, great. Guys, for 2 minutes, I want to talk about something that's very interesting. You heard it here first. I started talking about it last week. We posted it last week on our chat on the left-hand side of your screen. The thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to go into an area that when the market starts getting lofty like it is right now, they start taking names that people are afraid to be stuck short in. The two areas that I focus on when that starts happening, and I saw it today in as clear as day, is some of the names that have one of two things happening. Either a low float, that means that they have a very small float, like 1 million shares or under, which are ones that I'm watching today, or they have a very large short interest. And what happens on the short interest is that you have two people. If the stock starts getting to an interesting level, you have two people looking for the same stock. You have the people who want to buy, and you have the people who need to cover their shorts. And it's a very interesting time when a stock starts doing that. So I'm just going to go through some of these names that I've been looking at. One of them that comes across on my screen today is this ATHN with a huge short interest. And this is what happens to a stock with huge short interest. Not only does it gap up, but it continues to break out to the upside. I threw up just a very simple chart on it. This is going back probably about, I don't know, about 2 months or a month. And I'm just going through, sort of what the days look like recently and what happens when you get these type of names. You have a couple other ones that I've been looking at also. This is Live. Let's take a look at Live. So this is the short squeeze of all short squeezes. If you look in the middle of this chart, huge volume spike, people saying get out of my way. Stock goes from literally $4 last week. This is just last week. $4 last week to $22.50. People thought it was a fat finger. Then once you get a fat finger, we talk about some of the an error where a person basically takes an offer and writes $20 higher, buys $20 higher than what the inside market is. And really the reality is that there's no stock available. There's no short. There are a lot of people short. There's no stock available. If two people looking to buy the same stock, you're in trouble. And so this is a typical situation where I'm looking at all these names. It was brought to our attention by one of our presenters last week, and I started breaking it down and getting into different names that have this type of possibility. And I watched it this morning. So at the end of last week, on Friday, I took ARUN home. I sold it this morning at $21 even. Another name with a very short float, or very high short interest and short float. I combined it with the way the stock looked. It closed very strong on Friday. I took it. BRON, also short squeeze developing. It looked pretty strong this morning. I did buy some. I also sold it near the high of the day. But I continue to go through these names. ATHN, that's the name that I see coming across right now as we speak, making new highs on the day, 100 new highs on the day. So what do you think is happening? For me, the typical short squeeze, very aggressive, very effective in that name, an important name to keep your eyes on throughout. The short squeeze doesn't necessarily end until you see it end. RDWR, Another name is breaking out to new highs right now. Not as much on the short list, but it is what trying to show some depiction of what a short squeeze would look like. So what I do and what my strategy is I look for these names. As soon as I see them start breaking out to new highs, I type them up. I see if it's something that's tradable. If it is tradable, if it's the type of name that I can take advantage of by having enough liquidity still, and definitely having the volatility, I will give it a shot to the upside. On Friday, we talked about this TZOO, Travel Zoo, which is on its high of the day also, or close to it, and definitely a high part of the range at about $36. And that stock's also got a small float. Stock's been squeezing out. The famous one is PCLN. PCLN, short squeeze of epic proportion, and also not that much of a float outstanding. And the stock just continues to go higher. ALGT is another area. I see it coming across, making new highs on the day. ALGT, very large short interest in the name. So I generally trade these to the long side, as I see most of the opportunity come when the squeeze starts joining the party. When they start moving out, that's when I take advantage of them. And I continue to watch those names for the next few days. As long as the market has a bid, I'm looking strong, I'm looking long. I'm looking to take advantage of names that pop onto my radar. I pass them on to you guys. We all watch them together and we take advantage of it. So, it's a very, very short, brief lesson on that. If anybody wants to ask a question as far as trading stocks with small floats and high short interest, you can do so now. If not, I'm going to open up the lines for any questions or comments. Also, I know, Mike, that you wanted to see if anybody wanted to talk about any discussion right now while we're on the broadcast, while we're wrapping up for lunch. It's important that we do so in this setting. That doesn't give you guys an opportunity to call me later on to talk to me about something private, even though you could. It's better to ask any of your questions now on anything you want to talk about. So I'm going to open up the lines. You want it on the cheat sheet, no problem. If you want the link sent onto the chat on the left side of the screen, you could just pop it up and save it yourself. Would that help you, Chris? Okay, great. Great, appreciate it. Okay, post the link, please. Thank you. Guys, thank you very much. I got to step off for a minute. The team is here. Mike, answer any questions that people may have if you can. If not, leave them for the afternoon, and we'll continue to work on them together. Once again, we do not give trading advice. We do not give specific stock picks. Thank you for your time. Great morning, guys. Keep it coming.